The Cardinals backfield. James Conner averaged 18 PPR points per game when playing with Kyler Murray last year compared to 12 without. Yes, he misses, 4, 5, 6 games per year, but it's a position where most running backs do. There's a 22-spot gap between James Conner and Trey Benson on underdog. Conner's at 88, Benson's at 110. Benson was one of those prospects that we would have liked him to land in a different place. I know the Dynasty community is still hyped about him for maybe a year down the line. But do you think that this is just a clear case where James Conner, unless he gets injured early, is going to be the running back that we want for this backfield?
Yeah, I absolutely believe James Conner is the clear RB1 for Arizona. Head coach Jonathan Gannon loves him. And he talked last year about the age cliff where James Conner turns, I believe, 29 this year. And Gannon said, if anyone were to overcome that age cliff, it would be James Conner, just because of the work ethic and the kind of guy that he is. They love him, man. They ran the ball really well with him last season. They said last year that they wanted him to be a workhorse. Maybe we'll get that same language during training camp. Really, we just need to be writer to ask him, hey, do you still feel the same way about him this year? What's his workload going to look like? And Trey Benson never dominated snaps when he was in college. Like, we really think he's going to come in and supplant James Conner here? That's not going to happen. So I see him more as a change of pace back. They do like his the fact that he can hit these home runs in the receiving game. So yeah, I think we'll see that, but mainly it's going to be the James Conner show.
Yeah, and that's how I've been playing it. Like, I think, if you need to take Trey Benson for structural reasons in fantasy football, then that absolutely makes sense. If you're in best ball and you missed out on James Conner and you're in that area where the running backs start to dry up and there's a big tier of difference between where Trey Benson is, but then you get down to the likes of, you get to Jalen Wright and that area where it's like there's definitely more obstacles for Jalen Wright to overcome, possibly to be fantasy viable in year one. James Conner is just a straight up dog. And when you look back at his career, I kind of have a little more faith in the guys who hit 29 years old to still be able to keep going. If they're a little bit slower in how they started out in their career, like James Conner wasn't somebody who came into the NFL and straight away was seeing 400 touches in a season. And you can compare that to Derrick Henry, who's a bit of a special case, but it took time. He was splitting work with Dion Lewis when he first came in. So, yeah, I've got plenty of faith in James Conner. I think that this is a backfield that if you're drafting Trey Benson aggressively, you're expecting James Conner to get injured. And even if James Conner gets injured, he could get injured in the middle of the season and he could be back again by the time fantasy playoffs are around. So in redraft, I'd rather leave Trey Benson on waivers and let somebody else have the headache with him until something happens. If you're finding our stuff for the first time, hit that subscribe button down below. We're closing in on 2,500 subscribers. We've got loads of redraft content coming to you, at least 2 best ball streams a week, and Rich's Dynasty content is all year round.